What's up, everyone? This is the Godfather Dictator.
I'm Sarah from 17.
Welcome back to Chapter 10 of my Master Ninja No Damage run on Ninja Gaiden 2. Temple of Sacrifice, Elizabeth at the end. Terrible beginning here. Not an easy beginning whatsoever.
I think I've heard you say that before.
On the majority of the beginning, but this one is definitely one of the worst, as I recall. The other one was definitely not easy, but less populated than this one. This one has quite a bit of, what they call these guys? Gaija?
The red Gargers.
Okay, red Gaijas.
Or blood Gargers, if you want to call them that, as the blood rain descends.
Those guys are really annoying. They have like that tail one-hit kill move. Well, one-hit kill with that life
On the
bar.
original life bar, yeah.
The original life bar. It's a one-hit kill.
They do so much damage for how slippery they are.
Yeah, and their hitbox is also quite questionable.
And they have boobs.
Yeah, as a lot of the hitbox do in that game. So that's one thing you gotta. And did you see here that I did not hit it? That was.
I wonder how that missed.
Yeah, that was weird. Maybe it's because it was in the air. The hitbox did not count. And so here, I think you got some of the worst combination of enemies, because then you have these guys. You have Gold Vangelf here. Then after that, you got more of these other guy. I almost got hit there by the fireball. One thing I've also noticed is that it's better to fight them here. So
Yeah.
I end up fighting them here. And trust me, in my next run, I'm going to also fight them here. Because fighting them on top is always risky, and here you can see I double deal in there, I think, or no, never mind, because I deal him here. But anyway, I make him stagger. At some point, one of them kind of stay stuck on the top. You can
You can see his shadow,
you
can't
can
you?
see his shadow, yeah. And so I kill one there, and I think there's one left if I recall, and then that one, it's tricky to come down. That one that's stuck in the wall right now, you see?
Yeah, you can see his wing.
On the right. So it seems that he's stuck there. Now, why it's kind of scary here is because if I let go of, the block or anything, he could straight up come down and, crash on me, and then I would take
this
damage.
is never fun.
So it's not really fun right now, and if I want to go for, oh, there you go, he came down. I was gonna maybe go for an arrow, but then it's again risky.
I thought you were going to do the Alexei combo or the Dangradai combo.
Yeah, that would actually been really nice, and it's something now that you mention it, it makes sense. But no, it didn't come up on the spot. Like when I think that's the thing, is that when you're used to fighting enemies a certain way in that game, and it's effective. For instance,
you can get a little tunnel vision, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. So for instance, the forward Y with the claws is so good against the Gold Vangelf that you don't think about those other moves that would be possible, and this one here is stuck there. You see, it's funny when they freeze like that. I don't know what causes that.
Yeah, that must be an AI bug, that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's doing, but she ain't moving.
She ain't moving. End up working for my advantage. So that's one of those things. Draga, for example, you use that combo a lot. Alexei, you use that combo a lot. So it's something that comes up naturally. And while it's a very good combo, it's very situational, I think.
It is, yeah. It's got too much startup to be spammed all the time.
Yeah, definitely is. And then there, the last fight at the end is a combination of both, and I think it's one of the most annoying fight of that section, if you want. This chapter has a lot of annoying fight, and I think the entire beginning, like the acid, the acid cave, all of this is like fucking bad. And yes, guys, I'm gonna fight the Rasetsu after, so be ready for that. Chris is gonna narrate every single move I do along the way.
A night on Bald Mountain, Godfather Dictator, and the Rasetsus.
There we go.
Even though someone's going to be in the comments being like, well, technically it's not actually Rasetsu, because of course Rasetsu was what was the first ninja that you fought, and these are just actually spider ninjas.
It's guaranteed there's gonna be that.
There's always that guy. It's
That
like, we
guy.
fucking know, but you know what we're talking about when we use the name, right? Remember the cats in Ninja Gaiden Black?
Yeah.
That's not their name.
No,
But
no.
everybody knows what they are. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Don't be that
I
guy.
think they're called,
Don't
their
you
real
dare.
name I think is Bass Fiend.
Yeah, it is exactly that.
Yeah, I think they're called like this. One funny
But
thing to mention.
when you say that, no one's gonna know what you
No,
mean.
no, they did no. Hey guys, we're fighting some bad fiend. Like, what the fuck is that? With the cat, you know, that are fucking slippery. Yeah, there's blue and black version of those. Oh yeah, I know what the fuck are you talking about.
Oh, the cats. Why did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
So that's why the proper name. But one thing that's kind of important to mention right now, and I think you will recall as you still played that game. It's been a while, but it is the first instance in the entire game that you encounter those red Rasetsu in a way that you don't fight red Rasetsu here on Mentor, and
No.
it's really the first time around where you get introduced to them, which
Incredibly
is
tanky.
they are incredibly tanky, but if you think about it, it's kind of odd because knowing how cheap they went with Master Ninja, you would expect the first boss to be a red Rasetsu.
The red one.
And I mean, it's better for us, don't get me wrong. I'd rather fight the other one a million times than that.
You see, well, that's the difference, isn't it? The first one was Rasetsu, whereas the red ones are Jeff Setsu, and Jeff is so much tougher than his best friend.
And then who's the one though in chapter 2?
Well, that's of course his evil twin, his doppelganger. It's his dream reality version.
So,
That's
okay,
Rasetsu the third.
Okay, all right. This is-
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very complicated, but luckily Vatividia read it on Reddit and made a video about it.
Okay, that's so here, like, this is part of his brother then, you know, this is one of the same
this
family.
is his extended family. Yeah.
But much tankier version. They're angry, really angry at Ryu.
I love how dramatic this canyon is, though. You know, the face sculpture and this walkway.
I mean, it has to
It's
be
like the
with that
path to
fucking.
Stoker's Castle, isn't it? The dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be with that fucking fight. Like, how? I seriously don't know. I think I'm gonna try to count how
I
many
think
of
you
these.
might be one of the first people I've seen do this fight.
Yeah, a lot of people
Everybody
just
skips
skip
this
it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier to skip, right, than to do, obviously.
It most certainly is.
And you want to know, like, some things you guys will not see, but it's worth mentioning. And Chris, you know that, is that this fight, why it's incredibly cancer, is that their wind blade can go through the wall, and that let's just say that it makes for a really interesting hit when you're like not expecting it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I failed that fight because of that. You know, it's
Well,
really
it's the punch you don't see that knocks you out, isn't it?
it is indeed. So right now, yeah, it's gonna be I don't know how many of these guys there are here. I think there's.
No, I don't either.
I think there's 9. I think, if I'm right.
I know there's too many.
Yeah, yeah. That definitely. There's too many. Three. No, maybe 6 would have been enough. I think there's 9, maybe 12, but I'm not sure. Anyway, they're
I think 4 would have been fine.
Yeah, they're so tanky though that it makes you feel like there's 12. That's what I think happened here a lot. And here, I really must have known that he was at low health, because I don't know why the hell I went for a regular combo.
I was gonna say,
And here, you notice, that's what I mentioned, by the way, okay? There's
is
something.
this when you learnt out about their AI?
Yes, okay? The enemy prioritization in that game, well, I've learned about it. I know what happened, but even knowing what happened doesn't always help you. How it works is that there's always going to be one that's aggro on you, okay? Which means this one will prioritize you. The problem is that because it's spawn related, is that sometimes there's 3 with you, you're going to get rid of one, but the one that is now in aggro is the one that just spawned at the end of the world that you don't see. But what happened with these other 2 that are with you at that moment, when there's the third one that's supposed to aggro, they're going into fucking Windblade spammy mode. And that's why they're doing that. So if sometimes you're wondering why they would start, you know, spamming Windblade for no fucking reason, it's because of that weird enemy prioritization. And you know why I think they didn't go with proximity prioritization is how I don't know if you will recall, but you see it on the Van Gelf, the purple Van Gelf, where sometimes you will be fighting one and then he will dip out and another one will jump in and be fighting you. So that's why they have that weird fucking enemy prioritization in that game, and it doesn't go with proximity, and it can hurt some of the fight like this against the Rasetsu, because you basically want the one that's the closest to you to be aggroing you and not fucking spamming Windblade, you know?
It's a lot more noticeable on the slower enemies as well. On the ninjas, they attack too quickly for you to see that kind of hierarchy of how they attack. But on somebody like this in the Vangelfs, it's a lot more noticeable just how much more balanced the game is than you think.
Yes.
Because if they could all just dive at you at the same time, it'd look a lot like Razor's Edge.
and I'm sure if they could have, they would have. But in that case, you know, they give us a little break. And that fight is extremely hard. It's a fight, again, I'm not looking forward to doing it again. I know I'm gonna, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to that fight. The true hero of that fight, though, is the Tom Fuzz. Yeah, Tom Fuzz. I don't know why people didn't use it that much.
On this weapon, man.
The best fucking ET in the game. The best ET. It's really, really strong. There's nothing that comes close to it. The True Dragon Sword ET should have been stronger than this. It is not. Really disappointing. And the UT connects one time out of 30. so
that's an accurate number. You've tested it.
Yeah, I've tested it. Yeah. So it's really good when it connects.
Unless you're on the Chinese version of this game.
Yes, if not, it connects all the time. I mean, come on. See that? Chapter 11, we're gonna talk about it because it's the next chapter, so it's guaranteed I'm gonna do a mention about it. But I think now in here, this is the last guy left. And with all of this, I told you I would count how many there is. I did not. I lost track. I feel like there's 10.
Probably. It could be 25.
Just calling out a random number, but there's a lot, guys. It's really annoying. But
there's enough for this to be difficult, but not necessarily interesting.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not fun to fight. But here we go. Hey, no more on the horizon. And right now, instead of being
like, I
followed,
feel like you should have fought a flying dragon here. With how this environment looks, something huge should have been doing something. Like, can you imagine if the Archfiend, the first form, had popped up here and been attacking you?
And you have to dodge it or some sort,
or
or
running around and shooting it with a bow and stuff.
Certain amount of damage for it to go
something
away.
Big, something huge.
So now this is, this is one of the most interesting part coming up, and well, I'm gonna basically let them, hear it from you. Why this part now is really interesting in the run.
Yeah. So if anybody doesn't realize, this is the segment that the other run on YouTube, the no damage run. This was the segment that I think the player pretty much gave up as being impossible to do without taking damage. And he just goes through this area, fights as normal. Because when you touch the acid cave or whatever that green liquid is on the ground, the ooze, it will progressively chip away at your HP. And because Godfather is one of those type of people that does the things you don't think should be able to be done, he found a rather interesting technique to spam enough iframes to keep him invulnerable for this sequence. And one of the things I'm really curious about here is if we could get the HP statistics of your life to see whether or not you do take damage, but it's so minuscule it doesn't register on the bar, or if this is completely iframes changed for the whole time. Because I think that'd be really fascinating to see.
It is actually iframe, and you want to know how you know that, because I've started doing that at the end, and I'm doing it now on my second run from the beginning, so that there's no doubt. Is that sometimes here I would take a chip of damage and I would not see it, not realize it, but how you know for 100% sure that you did not take damage is if you try to take an healing item which I took at the beginning, so I have.
Oh, and does it not let you use it?
It doesn't let you use it.
Interesting.
So
I
that's
like that.
how you know exactly for 100% certainty that you
that's
did not
awesome, dude.
that you did not take damage. And even you will see here, it's because we don't hear the sound right now when we're doing the commentary, of course. But you will see that when I'm in doubt if I took damage, I will go straight up in my inventory and try to take that herb and heal myself up. And if it does heal, I took damage. If it doesn't let me heal. So it's the best way to know with 100% certainty that you did not take damage, which is actually really awesome. And I should have done that from the get-go. But this is here that I found out.
How many times did we ask, like, did I take damage then, chat?
Yes,
like,
and many times.
It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it, but maybe. But right now, that's why I'm never asking anymore, because, hey, did I take damage? I'm taking that. And, okay, I can grab it. I took damage. I'm restarting. I cannot grab it. Oh, it's good. I'm continuing, you know?
It's such an obvious method, but we didn't think of it.
No, we didn't know. I mean, nobody was using it before, so why the hell would we have thought of that, you know? Unless we tried it randomly like I did, and it ended up
I've
working.
done it myself in other games, so it just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Clever.
Yeah, it is. Well, in any game actually where you're going no damage and you can have doubt and it works, it's a perfect way to know if you took damage or not. I mean, it's guaranteed some game it doesn't work. Some game I cannot go with an example right now, but I know for a fact that there's some game where even when you're full health, you can still get healing items. So technically those games, you know, wouldn't apply to
One
them.
of the scary things about trying to no damage something like Bloodborne, if you do a restrictive challenge run of that game, is that there are certain moves that knock you down but don't damage you. And every time it happens, you're always paranoid, and you can go into a menu in that game and it will tell you the exact number of your full HP and the exact number of where your HP is. So even if there is 1 point of damage difference, you'll be able to see it. And when you pause it and check it, I'm always nervous to stare at it because I feel like something somewhere has gone wrong, even though I know I've done it fine.
Yeah. But at least though it's good because you have a straight up number that tells you, you know,
if it doesn't say the number that I'm looking for, I've messed up. I have to restart.
Yeah. But that's good. You know, that's a good cue basically to know if you took damage or not. So here, this is the end of that fight, and this is where after that you're gonna see the method that I found to be able to do that whole section no damage. And I have to say though that like later on, I'm not going to spoil it because it's an amazing part to watch actually. It's one of the highlight of the run, you know, that section. But there was a part further in, you see here, I'm trying to take it, I cannot take it, I know I'm good, I did not take damage. But there's one part further in here where I really had no idea how I was going to come up with a no damage strategy, and I did, and I will mention that part when I get there. So this is the move that gives you basically iframe. As you can see,
so many iframes.
Every time I'm going to a platform and I'm reaching the next one, I'm gonna show that I cannot take an healing item, which confirm again for 100% that I did not take damage. So here, cannot grab it, we're good, we're continuing.
That is so crazy.
Now,
I can't believe it took us that long to figure it out. I'm saying us like I have to do with this.
Yeah.
But as a community of players, I wonder if somebody has already figured that out, or if you really were the first with that. It wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, it's how did we not realize?
Yeah, but that other guy though, I never see him do that in his run though.
No, he doesn't. I always knew that move had a lot of iframe, but I would have ever thought to use it as a navigational tool like that. That's a really clever play by you.
Yeah, and well, you know how though I ended up doing that move is totally randomly, is because at some point I took damage and I started like using regular move to see, you know, what like how much damage it would do to them. And then at some point I did that. I was doing that move. I was landing in the acid and I saw that I didn't take chip of damage. So then it got me curious, and that's when I started messing around with it, and I realized that it was the move that you needed to get through that section without taking damage. And yeah, felt really fucking amazing. As much as that,
Because that move used to destroy bosses because of how many invincible frames it gave you.
yeah.
They just didn't have an answer to it, so you could just keep spamming it.
Well, it's a move you see that I've seen the other guys use it against Wolf 2 later on. He used that move quite a bit. Myself,
It's really strong against him. But everything's really strong against Wolf.
Yeah,
it's fair.
Yeah. It's one of the best boss actually to fight, because he can destroy you, but you can destroy him.
Yeah, he is. He's a Ninja Gaiden 2 boss done right. I'm not a big fan of his friends on the later encounter, but that's like everything else.
Yeah. But I mean, it's nothing like a Gigadet or something like that.
No, that is a Ninja Gaiden 2 boss done terribly.
Yeah, it is.
Why did he disappear?
There's one here that's glitched, one of them. And one thing that's insane here is, do you see the insane amount of those guys there is? See, like, this is never fucking ending here.
I don't understand who thought this was fun.
Like, I hope it's not Itagaki.
I mean, maybe he thought this room would be cool if there were worms in it, and he got his wish.
I think
cool.
it would have been bats if he had
Dude, if there was bats in this room, they would have fixed this room. Does
Yeah.
anybody like this enemy? I don't think anybody does. I think we can just write it off as a terrible enemy. How did they convince him to put this in the game?
Like, I don't know. And you see more spawn right now, like really annoying. And
I'd rather fight those bootleg dinosaurs that look like they were ripped directly from NGB.
Yeah.
Chucked in here for no reason. Here's a dinosaur.
Because those guys, I think they wouldn't be that problematic if they didn't take like 10 fucking UT to kill one, you know?
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why wind pathing into Raining Blood was one of my options to fight them.
You're talking about the dino guy, and it still works, by the way. I can confirm you haven't seen me fight those guys, but I think we've, I don't know, do we fight them on this chapter later on? Or it might be in chapter 13 though. I'm not sure.
Is it Quickening Devastation?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure. Anyway, it's like it's funny because I go through that game and every time like I forget a lot of stuff in it.
I've not played this game for a long time, so I'm surprised I'm remembering anything.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you remember
the scars
more.
Run deep.
You remember more of the stuff than I do.
I had a really tough time with this game, dude, when I was playing.
Who didn't? Okay, so that's the section that I was saying earlier that I didn't know how the fuck I was gonna no damage that part, because as soon as basically you open that, you automatically take damage, you know? So what I do, Nimpo cancel is the only way. And
hey, it makes sense.
And dude, at the end here, you can see I'm so fucking happy that I did that section that I think I'm trying to take the elixir for about 5 minutes to show that I didn't take damage.
There you go.
So
that is history right there. That is the first YouTube navigation of that room with no damage.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I hope, I really do hope that it gets a little more, if you want, recognition. Hopefully.
Yeah, it'd be really nice.
It would
I mean, you
nice.
deserve it. You've done something that nobody ever thought would ever be possible. And even though we've seen somebody else do something very similar, they haven't no damaged the game because they took damage.
Yeah.
So this is literal Ninja Gaiden 2 history, and anybody who cares about it has to see these videos. And as much as it's ego stroking for me to be a part of them, this is very much your achievement, and without what you did, this wouldn't exist.
Yeah, it is. But I'm really happy again to be able to do that commentary with you.
Yeah, me too, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure, bro. At least we have someone that's coherent here in English.
I know, you right? I'm talking all this jibber jabber.
Me fucking hell, man. No. But yeah, I'm really happy with the run. And the funniest thing is that right now, with, if you want a little step back, like as much as I didn't enjoy it when I was doing it, and it was really frustrating for the most part, that's what I'm talking about that makes me push through on those kind of projects, is the finished product of this. When you can see like everything you went through to achieve this, it's a bit like a painting or anything actually that requires some times. You know,
It's a journey.
you will restart a lot. You will not necessarily get it right the first time around, but when you do get the finished product, it's like a lot more satisfying for some reason.
You're also a different player on the other side, which I think is the most important part.
For the most part, you would think that you get better from playing those type of games.
I'm almost certain that you will have. It's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to seeing going back to Ninja Gaiden Black, because I think your time with this game is going to give you fresh eyes, and it's going to make you do things you wouldn't have normally done in NGP, and it might even lead to some breakthroughs and some strategies that you would have never thought of. I
Yeah,
think it could be really, really cool.
definitely possible.
Because one of the biggest advantages you had in this game, in my opinion, is the fact you didn't play it like a Ninja Gaiden 2 player. You played it like an NGB player, and it made you different.
It did help me having, I guess, a different perspective, a different set of eyes, you know, compared to all those players that were like playing the same way if you want, because
Yeah, when I first played this game, I was playing it like a Devil May Cry player. You can imagine the success I had.
oh my god, that must have been
I wasn't even using the block.
oh my god, oh shit. now you're telling me that, and I'm like,
That changed
how
very
that,
quickly, but, you know.
like how the hell did you get through the game? But okay, now
That's the question, isn't it? I didn't.
who did it for you? Tell me.
It was Summer.
Yeah.
Before I had a channel, me and Summer were one.
That
was
is
like
after he
that.
completed Mein Leben, right?
He did. He did Mein Leben, then he went back in time to kill himself, like Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt did.
In loop.
It gets very confusing.
And then he did it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I know, I mean, you say that, but you learned blocking, and at the end you ended up like beating it anyway, but at first it must
You
have
learn
been
the
really
UTs, you learn the guillotine throws, you learn works, you learn the wall attacks give you iframes, you just fight tooth and nail to see how far you can get.
and you did do it all. It's funny now, there's one thing I want to ask you, totally unrelated, and some people might say like, what the fuck is asking this right now? I beat Master Ninja, and you guys gonna see it at the end. That was my first time ever, by the way. Okay, you're gonna see it at the end. I got that cool picture profile. I cannot find it anywhere.
You can't find it, really?
No, I can't find it. I went in the option on the Xbox One for the avatar and all, and I cannot see where it is at all.
You might have to go to your profile, edit profile, and then change game picture, something like
I
that.
think I should do it on the net then, maybe.
Well, the picture itself is from the 360, and you'll notice that the Xbox One pictures are huge.
Yeah.
So it'll be really, really small. But you will have it. It will be there.
Yeah.
It's just a case of finding it. It's not avatar associated because that's something else. But it should be available because I still have mine.
Yeah, because I want
It's
it.
essentially the badge of honor for doing what you've done.
Yeah. It's the big.
Even though
big
yours
club.
should be better because you did the biggest of the dickest clubs, didn't you?
Yeah. What it should be.
Oh damn, the kick combo. Nice.
You know what's dumb about that fight here, if you don't know, is that once you reach the next section, okay, I killed those guys, you got another set of spawn that's like that spawns behind you right here. You'll see, and I think it's one of the dumbest thing.
Yeah, they pincer you between the two chainsaw people. I don't really like this enemy too much.
I don't either.
Docile and then he aimbots you.
Unless you headshot him, he has no head. But if not, yeah, it's really good to aim bot.
They just remind me of a slightly less fair version of the crypt archers, you know, from NGB. The zombie guys that you fight.
Yeah. Okay.
They're weird. They're really slow, but if they do attack, they mean business.
Yeah. And do they wait for you, you know, to do a move, and then when you're gonna roll, they're gonna be shooting at that time. In those games actually, they're really smart, and like they're really smart to advantage them, and that's really bad, I think, for us as the player, because a lot of time we get
evil timing.
We get fucked because of this. Yeah, they have the best evil timing. That's kind of funny here, you know. I've used the sight at the end, and I actually beheaded both of these guys, which is kind of odd. I think because a lot of time what happen is that you're gonna delimb a different part of their body, you know. So to get a double head removal, like it's kind of interesting. Skipping that shit, like not this here. That's perfect spot for this. The flying enemies. Yeah. Fuck that. Fuck those flying enemies. There's something really satisfying about throwing a piercing void and getting multiple kill with that.
That's the best thing about the co-op in Ninja Gaiden 3 and Razor's Edge. One of the nimpos you can get with the smallest bar, which means it's the easiest one to build up, is Piercing Void. So you throw that a lot to get your life back. And it's never not satisfying.
Yeah, I've seen people use it actually in mission mode now that you mention it. And I think I might have even used it because, believe it or not, I had a little bit of mission mode play a while back with Tom I 90.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That's a good old time. We actually did some of the mission in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2.
Sigma 2,
no damage on Master Ninja. Long time ago. But I did not.
I didn't even know he played Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. I think he did. Look, he hasn't made a video in forever. I think his last video is Resident Evil 5 mine dual world record or something. I just remember like
his Resident Evil 5 mercenary stuff and his Devil May Cry 4 stuff.
Yeah. But
he even went back and did 3, didn't he? Devil May Cry 3 as well.
Yeah, he did. He did Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, no damage actually.
Oh really? Wow, he's a good player then. Jesus.
Yeah. This is very good.
Because Kage did that. Who's the other Sigma 2 player that I know of.
Yeah. So yeah, he did it a long time ago also. So yeah, it was a very good player overall. We've lost some warrior, you know, along the way of what it's called IRL. On some of them, sadly, they just disappear. And
they go the way of the shinobi, don't they? Where he comes, amazing thing, goes back.
Yeah. Okay, I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. It's because sometimes Discord start cutting off on Seraphim's side, so I cannot hear his lovely voice. It's really important.
I have terrible internet, so if you could all please give me money to get better internet, that would be fantastic.
And people that don't know the reference, check someone called DSP. You know what?
Creator of Let's Plays.
And you'll know what reference that was. I almost thought they were stuck there, by the way, but
yeah, it did look like they were.
Yeah, but they were not.
It's rare to see the Guardians use that projectile as well. I've almost forgot they had it.
Yeah. They've used it a bit on Master Ninja for me, but it's true that it's definitely not a move that they do frequently.
Yeah, I've not seen that in a long time.
So I'm doing this fight. As far as I know, you get nothing from it. That's just...
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah. That's just for, for me to, hey, I'm doing more fight. even the one that I don't have to do. Here, I don't remember. There's someone that gave me a strat here to do the charge with the incendiary shuriken, but I don't know if it's Farnham, Lubu, or you, maybe. I don't know.
It was certainly not me. I never experimented with incendiaries.
Okay. So I think it must have been Lubu or Farnham. Either way, thank you, both of you guys, because you came up with a lot of good strat during that run that helped me out, So that's definitely worth mentioning. But that was one of those strat there because I always used to face them like by going straight to them actually and fighting them.
Oh wow, double kill.
Yeah, but they always line up perfectly, by the way, those other two flying enemies, so you pretty much always get the double kill. But there's someone, again, Farnham Lubu, that suggested the incendiary shuriken, and then we went for that. And it's perfect because it throws 3 incendiary shuriken that sometimes will kill all of them, but will always delimb all of them.
Ooh, that was unfortunate.
Fortunate and really scary.
Yeah, really scary.
Fortunate and scary because God knows those guys can kill you real fast. So you don't want to risk it. I see here. When I'm rewatching, I've seen, and it's guaranteed, I myself noticed that some of them are delimbed But
Yeah,
Tonfa's,
the OT, Tonfa, ooh.
it's one of the worst. It has one of the worst hitbox to land, and because it's one of the most dangerous enemies, and they are like quite fucking swift. Well, you don't want to be risking it and going for the OT. Basically, is the one thing you're gonna avoid, and also that whole
Scary.
it is, and that whole section right now, it's quite a hard one.
Yeah.
It's not an easy one because after this, I mean, we have that gold dragon, not really hard, but then we have the infamous FPS drop stairs,
Stairway, yeah.
and that's something. It's a really hard fight.
And it's the section that Reuter was really looking forward to when he mentioned it on Twitter after I tweeted about your run, so hopefully you can get what he wants from this upcoming section. Ooh, getting stuck in, I like it. Look at that damage normal weapons do to these guys, it's so cool.
Yeah, because they're not meant to be.
They're not meant to be hit with weapons, yes,
Yeah.
but it does really nice damage.
Yeah.
I think if you 360Y him with the dual swords, I think it might even kill him. It's so damaging.
Yeah, I think though it's Farnham that suggested the 360 with the Kusarigama also. Again, there's a lot of people that were part of this run, guys, on Twitch that help out with the strategy. If you're wondering, if you're like, what the fuck, how did someone talk to you while you were doing this run? Is because I was doing this entire run on Twitch. For those that did not know, so there's some people that shared their knowledge of the game, you know, and they basically helped me out achieve this.
Yeah, it was a group effort. I like to take at least 75% of the credit.
Only that, right?
Yeah, the rest you can have. I mean, you were holding the controller.
So that's worth 25.
Damn straight. I think that's actually quite generous.
So here, like, I'm going with the claw, but then I'm like,
Missing a lot.
let's
It's
go back.
awkward geometry too.
Let's go back to this, you know, and that's the weapon of choice for that whole area. There's something really funny though about watching that section, and don't pay attention right now to the actual ninja I'm hitting, but check the half body part descending the stairway and the head
Slipping.
falling down, and there's something really funny about that section for that, man. Ed's literally rolling down the stairs. If you're just looking at the bodies dropping from the stairs, you see the head, the two heads.
I wonder how many enemies there are on this sequence. Do you think it's 100 ninjas?
Yeah, it must be at least.
So many.
There's a lot. I mean, right now, how many am I killing at the same time? I'm killing at least 5, 6. If it's 4 maybe, but
It must be 5 close.
But there's a lot, and then that's the thing that's like scary in this area here, is that first of all you can take damage obviously from those fucking projectiles. It's really easy.
Tiny chip damage from the shurikens.
Tiny chip that. Look at all those body, dude. And then not only that is that you have different trigger point, you know. So here's one of those trigger point, and why I'm pushing forward though after, even when I see them spawn, is because you don't have time to charge for a side ultimate technique here. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna want to kill 2 of them, and then after that continue and go back to the side charge, you know. Because if not, in between, it's really easy to get hit. And even
That's
here,
what I was expecting you to do, right there.
you see one Nimpo?
Oh, wow, that was lucky.
And the funniest thing is I get I get that Nimpo back, and I can keep the essence to do the technique. But you know what though? Now that I'm rewatching this right now, I should have grabbed it to continue UT, because you see now it keeps giving it to me, but I keep going to grab it like an idiot, and I should not be focusing on the Nimpo right now, because the true thing is that I'm managing my resources, but it's not needed in a way that I have plenty of money to get Nimpo, and that far in the game, you know. Right now, it's definitely not the end of the world if you use one Nimpo more. So
You're sitting on a wellspring of essence, aren't you? You can buy.
Yeah. You can buy whatever, and that's why when I rewatch this right now, I would say that was kind of stupid of me to go for that Nimpo essence. I should have just, you know, committed and went.
I like the shuriken use there to stun them.
Yeah, that was actually really useful. And here is something I get tricked on. I'm thinking it's done, but there's one guy that didn't die on the left. Here, you see him?
Oh, there he is.
And you know what that will cause, right? Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Do you see now?
There it is. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You knew it when you turned the camera.
I
and
knew,
there was gonna be
I
50
knew.
fellas staring at you.
That was guaranteed.
That was 21,000 points with the killing spree, though, so always good.
So I think there might be more than 100 now, though. Yeah,
You think so?
I think. Look at that.
I feel like 100 is a really, really good number for it, but I wonder what it is. I'd like to ask, like, the developer that did this part.
I think it's like 150.
You think so?
It's like it's too hard to count, but it feels like
It's a lot.
150. It feels like it.
Well, you
yeah.
see, every single fight in Ninja Gaiden 3 feels like about 10,000 men. So that was actually quite a fast fight when you compare it to the joy that awaits you in the sequel.
And you see me taking again the healing item to show that I did
just
not
to
take
make sure.
damage, just to make sure.
Now on to the Pazu fight, right?
Pause. Actually, I would have loved to fight Pazu here.
Do you not think it looks a little bit like his old temple area?
Yeah,
His
it
wood
does.
there in it?
It does. It does. And funny enough, it's the same fucking chapter number.
Yeah, there you go. See, it's fate.
Chapter 10. This one is chapter 10. A little
He's
less.
going to be in Sigma 2, isn't he? Along with Mobius and everybody else.
Yeah, well, actually, it's that version in the
Did I
canyon.
say Mobius? I mean, it's Morbus, right?
What is it? A vampire guy?
That guy that flies around. You know, the dude who dives bombs you in Ninja Gaiden Black? Summoned to
Marbus.
Gauntlet? That guy, yeah.
Marbus. He's true. He come back with one horn broken.
Yeah, I think he's isn't he in Sigma 2? I think he's in
Yeah.
Sigma 2.
Yeah, he is.
Because there's also that witch that's in Ninja Gaiden 3, who's in one of the girl chapters in Sigma 2, who I've never fought because I never got that far. And
Hero
I was
chapter
I didn't even realise that witch was a thing, because in Ninja Gaiden 3 I just thought it was a shit
Oh, you're
boss.
talking about the one with the ball under.
Yeah, that one, the fortune teller lady.
Ah, yeah. That's.
She is a boss in Ninja Gaiden 3.
And, yeah, and
I
she's
just-
an annoying boss in
I had no idea she
Sigma
was
2.
in Sigma 2.
Yeah, really annoying boss. Now for the best boss battle with the best strategy ever, the most entertaining shit you're about to see in your entire life.
Flying Swallow into Vigorian Flail Loop.
Not even. That's too sophisticated for this boss right now. No, it's gonna be a simple
Are you going to use Flying Swallows?
flying swallow, and that's it. It's done. Claws flying swallow, guys. That's the strategy against her. I do make up for a better fight later on, but I think altogether that boss is just a piece of shit.
Yeah, Elizabeth is a very predictable boss and super easy, right? Everyone knows this.
So the funny thing about that fight right now is I almost get a perfect pattern from the beginning, and it lasts a while until it doesn't. You know.
Did you notice if you have to catch her with the Flying Swallow as she's turning to keep her in this, or is that just a coincidence of the timing?
I think it's just a coincidence of the timing.
Because if she just lets you do this sometimes, and then other times she doesn't.
Yeah, and here you see I go quicker, way quicker for some reason. I don't know why. But then at some point, like here, boom. You see?
Teleports out, yeah. Position change. But then again, she gives you a good move at a distance. Because if you Flying Swallow that, you stun her and she's dead.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's like a Alma flying swallow. It will either hit her or it will not. You know? So that's a big problem. It works until it doesn't. And here, like that could have been dangerous.
That
Because
was scary.
I thought I was in distance to do a FS. I was not. And it's still something I have a hard time gauging the distance of the FS.
You got your timing down though on the dodges, which is important. Boom.
Oh, the annoying one.
Here she comes for the trip.
And there we go. That's the end. So yeah, again, a really shit
Very.
boss in my opinion. So the strategy is deserving of that boss. So I hope you guys enjoy the chapter. I'm gonna let Mr. Seraphim conclude, and I will see you next time.
Yeah, great ninja. Not my favourite chapter, but behind you now. Thank you all for watching, and you take care now.